Hello and welcome to my first scrap mechanic video about a vehicle. So the vehicle I've constructed is a puddle jumper from the show Stargate Atlantis. It's made out of wood because it's a lighter block, although I guess it doesn't really look very spaceshipy. But you can enter the back by activating that switch. Brings down a little platform, a little staircase I guess, brings it back up. Convenient that I was on a diagonal anyway. There's a whole lot of thrusters in here, and then you get to the pilot seat. So the first thing you need to do is press, well, I like to zoom out so I can see it better, but if you press 1, it activates thrusters on the bottom, and this allows the vehicle to hover. And yeah, so we have sensors along the bottom that activate thrusters to sort of balance it because the default thrusters aren't quite enough to keep it from falling, so it gets a nice sort of steady hovering a few blocks above the ground. So to actually fly it, you use W, A, S, and D. So W goes forwards, S goes backwards. There's a little bit of a delay because of its momentum. I can show you later, but if I let go of S, you can't really tell, it's still going backwards. That's just the way I have it set up so I can actually use thrusters to reverse. And then D turns to the right, and S turns to the left, although I do start to tip. And okay, that was not the best, but not the worst. Let me just get out of here and put this back on level ground. I think I'm too close to the barrier. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that in this level. You can't actually see the edge because sometimes you just crash into it and flip, and it's quite annoying. Anyway, so get back in, turn on 1. I also hit 2, so that actually brings the main thrusters out. Unfortunately, they do fly around like that when I go forward because I can't reinforce it very well. Hopefully the weld tool will make that easier, and hopefully they actually make the weld tool soon. So yeah, you can see I can turn and fly. The button in slot 3 is for flying up higher, so activates just a few more thrusters so I can gain some altitude. And then 4 just opens up that back hatch again. So I can put away my main thrusters, turn off my vertical thrusters, and now I'm just going to fall back down because there's no way to go down quickly other than just turning them off. And if you hold down 1 and 3 as you're getting close to the ground, you can prevent too hard of a crash. Unfortunately, because it does tip a bit when you're flying or when you're trying to turn, it is slightly prone to rolling, and it's really hard to fix that. I'm going to try and add roll controls later. Also, without the seat here, the weighting is off slightly, so I'm going to put that back in. But yeah, so that's how it flies, and I'm going to show you a bit of how it actually works. So these are the connections. It looks terribly messy, but it works, so there's that. So how I toggle on and off the bottom thrusters is with, well, the censored ones, is with this control block in here. It just rotates all of those bearings, turns those sensors so they're facing down instead of out, so they actually get detected. Unless you're walking too close to them on the side. There shouldn't be anything to set them off in this configuration. So those, you can see, have connections to some thrusters along the side, at the front and back, with sensors at the front and back, and that keeps it nice and level. Going forwards is really easy. I just have these thrusters hooked up to the control seat, and then that's it. That's all you need to do. Reverse was a little trickier because I can't really understand why they don't let you set any thrusters to reverse, but apparently you can't. So I had to come up with a little trick. I have a motor down here that's connected to the seat, and then if I delete these blocks here, there you go, perfect. So you can see I have a bearing in there, and when I press forward, it tries to rotate this way, or to this side, and it obviously gets stuck, and it just sort of forces it against it. That's fine, that sensor's not actually hooked up to anything. It's kind of hard, but you can see no connections. When you hit reverse, it'll flip to the other side, and it'll activate that sensor, and that actually activates these ones up here, and those are the reverse thrusters. And so that's how I can actually use W for forward with the direct control. I mean, I could use the sensor, but it just seemed a little bit better to just have them directly hooked up. And then S will actually go backwards. And then you can see there I have a steering bearing connected, and so that just turns and activates one sensor, which will then activate all of the turning thrusters on either side at front and back, so it'll rotate nice and fairly still. Like you don't actually have to move while you're turning. Um, and then I don't want to break anything, but I just have for pretty standard piston type arms in here to push the thrusters. Actually, if I hit this, you can see the extending. They just come out of the floor. If I hop down here, you can just sort of see the arms underneath. And that's how that works. So that's pretty much everything. Feel free to ask any questions or comment suggestions for improvements, because I'm going to be working on this for a while. I'd like to make the inside look a little bit better, but there's not really much I can do because I need lots of thrusters because this is a fairly big structure. Thank you for watching. Bye.